Did you record?
No, not yet. Ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, let's move on to next time. So I went a little long on that one. So
all right, no worries. So if numbers and stocks are too much for you to understand, fear not. We're about to get into some very simple giant monster kaiju discussion, which your 5-year-old is even going to enjoy. So I am more than happy. I'm totally ecstatic to talk about Godzilla vs. King Kong, the trailer that just dropped. All right, say it,
going ham on this.
Yes, I have. I'm turning into a little kid. Actually, I've always been a little kid when it's come to Godzilla, and like it's just something I grew up around when I was really small, right? So I loved the Godzilla that came out in 2014, 2015, whichever. I think it was 2014. Directed by Gareth Edwards. Loved the director. Found out Bryan Cranston was going to be playing a role in the movie. He did a phenomenal job. The movie did not let me down. A lot of people did not like it because they were like, you know, and actually
Not
it was a
enough
lot
fighting.
of, it was my fellow Godzilla enthusiasts, which are like, we need more Godzilla.
Wow, okay.
It wasn't enough monster fighting. You know, it's too character centric. But it's like, you know, all right, look, I enjoyed it because I felt like I was living in the world, you know, of Godzilla. It wasn't just watching, you know, like if I want to just watch giant monsters fighting, I'll watch Pacific Rim, right? Or I'll watch something else. I'll watch the older Godzilla Japanese movies.
Or Jurassic Park, the later ones, which is essentially what that is.
Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, there you go. So I really enjoyed the perspective that they took. Unfortunately, Gareth Edwards, you know, that was the only one he directed in this new Godzilla story, this trilogy. I'm going to say
it's not just Godzilla.
Exactly. It's the Monsterverse. It's a new universe that was created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to share lots of spoilers from Godzilla 2014. Well, I guess I'm not going to get too much into that. But this is going to touch on parts of that movie, Kong Skull Island, which came out like a year or so, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Which was actually kind of like a prequel in a way. It just took place about 30 years or so before the Godzilla from 2014, 2015. And then the main thing, obviously, we're going to be discussing is the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. So, Sahid, I know you didn't watch the second Godzilla movie.
That's fine.
There's going to be spoilers in here, so you're just going to have to deal with it. I know you tried.
I look, I tried. This weekend sucked. I was able to watch the first one. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's the
lower your standards for the second one, and you'll be all right.
I will. Maybe I probably won't watch it the second one. I wasn't excited about it, but like what you said, everything you said, Bryan Cranston was amazing in that film. It was character centric. Like that's kind of what I want to see. I see, and we'll probably talk about this later. But when we talk about like these monster movies, like Kong, Skull Island, Jurassic World, like the latest movie that came out, like I hate it when they try to anthropomorphize like these monsters, like as if these guys care what humans think.
Yeah.
Godzilla does not give two shits about humans, right? Like he's gonna blow us up. Like even at the end of the first 2014 movie, like even though I thought it was good, I thought it kind of fell off where they started like hailing Godzilla as like this hero, and I'm like, he's more like an anti-hero at most. He did like mess up like a bridge. He like ran over people like to fight.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
sort of. And I'm actually gonna that might be a good starting point actually, because you know the whole premise, and like I said, this, you know, the purpose of this discussion is to get into Godzilla vs. Kong's trailer, right? I don't want to get too much into the previous movies, but I will say this: what I really like is the story that this Monsterverse that's been created. Is that essentially Godzilla is, and actually this carries over from the Japanese concept as well. Godzilla is a part of nature. Sometimes he's, you know, with you, sometimes he's against you. And this is what humanity is still trying to figure out. This was, I guess you could say, like they touched on this in the end of the last Godzilla, which was King of the Monsters. And somewhere towards the end of the movie, I think it was towards the end, one of the guys in the movie was like, you know, is Godzilla really with us? Or, is he not? What if he's not on our side in the future? I'm paraphrasing. That's not word for word verbatim. But what if he's against us in the future? We don't really know, right? So that was toward the end of the movie, and that's kind of alluding to, now what's happening, Godzilla versus Kong, where Godzilla, again, he's just a part of nature. He's there to balance out, the power of nature on the planet. And I think that's something that's a really cool concept. So Gareth Edwards directing the first one, it was very character centric. I thought that was cool. Zahid, you were the one that looked into that, why he wasn't a director or most likely in future movies, because Gareth Edwards likes to make movies with specific endings, not loose endings, right?
Yeah.
So it made sense. When you're creating a monster verse, you're creating something like the Star Wars universe, right? You have this very expansive
Marvel universe, right? Like
Marvel, not DC, because DC sucks, but like Marvel
or DC. Right? Or DC.
Well, it's
continue.
Omar, it's funny that you say that though, because the people responsible for this monsterverse is the same people responsible for DC's universe. I'm sorry, I have to point it out.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
It's the same.
You're welcome.
It's the same people.
Nicholas, this is the only time we're ever going to agree on this. Okay, so enjoy it. Enjoy it. So that's pretty much what's going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the trailer really quick. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to say one final thing before I do that, is what's led up to this point in the movie, right? So I was talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, right? That was part 2, came out a couple of years ago. And in the end of it, there was, so one of the main bad guys was this 3-headed giant monster, which was King Ghidorah, right? And apparently they found out that was an alien that came from outer space a long time ago. I thought that idea was actually kind of cool.
Okay.
When you just say it outright, it sounds a little silly. So I still recommend watching.
It all does. Like the fact that we're talking about
you're right,
this in
you're
a
right.
serious manner makes me want to bust out laughing, right? It's like, oh, this concept of nature. I want to see monsters fight. Okay, so if Kong versus Godzilla is, oh, here comes King Kong about to punch Godzilla. Cut away to some human crying because they might get hurt. 1 star. 1 star.
You know what? He's just pissed off because I took a stab at DC. That's
okay.
What it is.
1 star. Okay. Somebody better get their ass beat.
Niggas is going off. He's like, niggas been waiting for this day. He's been waiting for this.
Yeah, he was. He was.
That's all I gotta say.
He doesn't like it when we get on him about his abusive relationship with DC.
Let's go back to the Hollow Earth theory and how important Godzilla is to the planet.
All right, so actually we will. So basically the premise, right, is you have these titans, right? They call them titans, these giant monsters from planet. I can't talk about this seriously anymore.
Good. That's the point. This entire series has been 2 men, a man and a freaking dragon suit walking around set yelling.
And that's a wrap for today, guys. From now on, this is going to be a 2-man show. Sahid and I. We're going to be removing.
Only when we talk about
Nicholas. Yeah, right.
That's hilarious.
Anyway,
so
Ghidorah's an alien.
Yes, the Ghidorah is an alien. One of his heads, they preserved it at the end of the movie, right? And this terrorist group, they basically ended off on a cliffhanger. They found the head, and you could tell that they had other sinister plans for it. So that's what happened. King Kong is like an alpha titan. Godzilla is like an alpha, right? And so it just makes sense for them to be fighting. So the whole question has been, why are King Kong and Godzilla gonna fight? So I think it's gonna make a lot of sense. Just walk through this trailer, and I'm gonna share my screen here in just a second. And here we go. All right, you guys see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys can hear it, right?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's okay. You don't need to hear it.
We'd rather hear you, Omar.
All right, so first thing, actually, right here. So if you see right over here, right, I want you to watch it and rewind it like a split second. If you see that, it looks like, so this is like his neck, and this is like his bottom jaw. That's his, you know, that's top of his mouth, and he's just, you know, that's Godzilla just kind of plowing through some buildings. So it definitely looks like it's metal, right? I noticed this when I first saw the trailer, and so the whole idea. So in the Japanese movies, there was a mechanized Godzilla called Mecha Godzilla, and it was literally just a robot created by aliens, and another Godzilla movie was created by humans. They kept changing the story, so it looks to be like it's Mecha Godzilla, right? I'll let it play through. So here you see King Kong. He's strapped on a ship. He's in chains. We're not really sure why. So right here, I thought this was something interesting, and actually, this is something that I didn't observe myself. Credit to Sahid for sending me another video, which was exploring, you know, breakdown of this trailer as well. Is notice, and I'll get into this in a moment, the kind of, you know, blue effects here. And same thing here.
Yes, it's Mecha Godzilla. Yes.
How did they get him in chains? How did they get him in chains?
Here's the movie, Sahid. Godzilla's causing havoc. Let's go kidnap King Kong, because that's the other monster we found a long time ago.
So I actually hear the audio of the trailer on my side. I'm having trouble hearing you.
I bet you are.
So I'm going to skip a lot of the parts that I don't think are really relevant for the sake of time. But I do want to point this out right here, right? So you have, you know, King Kong apparently has a relationship with this girl. And we don't know, you know, what the details of the trailer kind of just, you know, points out that he's taking care of her. She doesn't have a family. And, you know, so they have this relationship there. So he's being transported away on some ship right now. Why? I'll get to that in a second. What my theory is. So here you can see, here's the Godzilla's dorsal fins. He's flying through some ships. Godzilla's dorsal fins.
Dorsal fins?
Dorsal. Did I say dorsal? Dorsal. Thank you.
Because they're on his back. Yeah.
Yes. Your ass.
It's Godzilla, Omar. Don't get too excited.
So I thought this scene was really cool right here. So right here, he's, you know, obviously he knows Godzilla's there, the water. This is Godzilla's domain, right? This is not where you want to mess with him. So it's actually kind of interesting, you know, why they would have taken this approach and had him like chained up on a ship, wondering, you know, what their purpose here really is. They as in, you know, the people transporting him. So, so he's roaring into the water here.
Back to the island.
So here, I can barely hear you through this. So there, I'm going to rewind that again. All right, so you see Godzilla just. So I'm trying to catch this right here. All right, so there's a scene right in here where as he's clamping down on the ship, you can actually see some sparks coming off of Godzilla. Right there. Right over there.
This is the part where they start playing the rap.
All right, so sorry,
you're playing rap music in this trailer. I know they did. They did.
Yeah, like, they are. I thought that was an interesting choice of music.
I see what you're trying to do, guys. It's like a Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight right here.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so what's happened here is obviously, so he's in the water, right? He's like I said, you know, this is his domain. King Kong jumps off, And now it kind of changes the scene. So right there, you can see. Oops. I just missed it again. Try to catch that. Right there. So if you look right here, right, the left-hand side of the screen, you see there's obviously some monitor in the background. It says something system, something charge. So it looks like they're definitely controlling something. And if you look back at here, it looks like, you know, what appears to be a robot with feet, arms, torso here from a frontal view. That looks like it's probably the tail. Huh?
Yeah, so I see a tail too. Yeah.
Yeah. So this seems like it's Mecha Godzilla, right? And it seems like this is like their control room or whatever they're doing to control it. Whether it's inside of it or some other facility, I don't know. Now I read that this guy is actually the son of Dr. Serizawa, who had passed away in the first Godzilla movie in 2014.
That's Ken Watanabe's character, right?
Yeah, Ken Watanabe. And so this is actually supposedly his son. I could be wrong, actually. I don't recall. But you know, if it is, that would make sense, right? Like, why is he, you know, why is he one of the people behind this? All right, so I'm gonna hit play again. So basically what they're saying at this point is, you know, Godzilla's hurting people and they don't know why. So this just proves that they don't really know what's going on, right? Like Godzilla is now, like I pointed out in the last movie, King of the Monsters, at the end, you know, they're saying he may not always be on our side, you know. And yeah, so this is basically a good example of that. So right here, you know, she's basically saying, you know, something's provoking him. We don't know what. Again, foreshadowing, you know, what's really going on, that something's not really right. Why is Godzilla attacking people? So before I talk about anything else, I just want to get into, so far what it seems like is this battle that's happening between Godzilla and Kong is, it appears to be Mecha Godzilla disguised as the actual Godzilla, right? It seems like he's got some, like, you know, skin on top to make him look like Godzilla, so that people blame him, you know, the real Godzilla for the destruction that he's causing.
Omar,
Omar,
what's that on the left of the screen?
Yeah, and I'm actually going to get to that in a second.
So hold on, real quick, actual question this time. So what makes you think that the mechanized Godzilla has some sort of skin on the outside?
So actually, I'm going to show a little bit of evidence on that towards the end of this trailer.
Okay, because I was thinking that someone was basically had come up with they want to control Godzilla, right? And maybe they find out they can't, so they create Mecha Godzilla. But in their attempts to try to control him, they come up with some sort of signal to that affects him, like a dog whistle that just drives him nuts, and he ends up doing it. You don't know why, right? But you know, everybody just has like a whole bunch of theories on what's going on anyway. So
yeah, that's. I mean, hey, it could be true. You know, don't know. That's a good point. I certainly think the ending of the last Godzilla gave, you know, made it seem like they had definitely wanted to do something, and I think that's a route that the story, you know, might have taken as well. It does seem like they had what's happening or happened, I guess, is that this group of people took, you know, the head from Mecha Godzilla, I'm sorry, Ghidorah, you know, that the three-headed monster, and then combine it with like cells from, you know, or DNA or something from Godzilla, and then created like a, you know, a robot version. So I don't know. That's a good point. You know, it could be. Hopefully it is, you know, something that most of us that have been reviewing these, you know, this trailer haven't really figured out, and I hope that we haven't figured out the whole movie just from this one trailer, because that would suck. But
well, that means
you know,
the movie
like,
sucks if you can figure out the whole movie in a trailer.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it's Godzilla. It's going to be pretty simple. So.
That's true. It is.
Nicholas,
still a better story than Batman vs Superman, though. Still more complex.
Hey, No, what if this is Batman?
It's so complex. Yes, let's find a reason.
What if it is Batman v Superman? What if at the end of the day they're fighting each other? Then they have to find out they have to work together to beat Mecha Godzilla.
What's your point?
Yeah, no. So what if Kong and Godzilla work together to beat up Mecha Godzilla?
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. All right. So basically here, you saw in a previous scene where Kong jumped off the ship, right? Basically, like he just lost the battle or something. I don't know what happens. My guess is he, washes up ashore somewhere. He's in the water and he ends up in this hollow earth, that's been like theorized about in the previous, MonsterVerse movies. So here you can see, look at the background. It's upside down mountains, right? This is definitely underground somewhere, definitely the hollow earth area. So this thing right here looks like some kind of a UFO, right? I don't know if it's some advanced civilization that dwells down there, or if, there's a time lapse in humanity, it has progressed to the point where they're able to build just,
No, I think it's somebody from the surface that goes with him.
Could be, yeah.
That's kind of advanced technology, though.
So from here, right, you see something. He's placing his hand here, and it kind of gives away the impression that there was others like him before, that have been here. So he's kind of just feeling that it looks like it's some kind of like ancestral, ground for him, for his kind. So. There you see, I'm going to touch on this again. He's holding a weapon in his hand. I'm going to touch on what that is in just a second.
He gets the axe from his people.
Here he's beating the crap out of these two. This is, I forgot their names. It's not Wombat or something. It's something like that. Yeah, it's something weird.
It's those things that could like go underground. I forgot what they were called though.
No, right? They actually have specific names for both of them. Like they actually have their own names. So he's there like, kicking butt. Again, you can see the mountains in the sky, right? And the clouds just on it, kind of in between. Just really cool idea. Mountains on the bottom, mountains on the top. Really curious to see what this place is going to look like and what the story here is going to be like. So here, right there, you see this is his skin. And if you see in the previous Godzilla movies, right, his tail, look how weird it looks right here, right? I'm going to rewind that again for a split second. You see it here.
That's King Kong's axe, man.
Right here?
Yeah.
I think that's his axe too. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. That's his arm right here.
That's his arm.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Niggas look at this like what, one time?
Right? And I probably watched this like 60 times. All right. So moving on. Whoops. So right here, right? Again, somewhere in this hollow earth area, you see this, the outline, this blue, whatever this is. It looks like it's the shape of Godzilla, right? His mouth right here. And I don't know what this is. It looks like some kind of runes or something on the ground. But apparently what's happening is King Kong is getting this huge level boost, like he's going Super Saiyan Kong. And, he's doing something there. Oops. Now, one final scene I want to touch on right there. So Kong is now holding this axe, right? And it looks like right here, you're about to see he's jumping up with this. Godzilla's throwing his atomic breath at him. Kong is holding this weapon up in front of him. So watch what happens. So it's absorbing it right there, right? It's absorbing it. Looks like it's getting powered up. And what's about to happen? He's about to hit him right in the face right there with it. So apparently that's a piece of like the dorsal fins from either from Godzilla or from, this Godzilla or from a previous one that probably found somewhere in this hollow earth area. And part of that's made from his bone as well, right? Or some, I've read it a few different things, some tree or something from Kong's homeland or whatever. Doesn't really matter. But the fact of the matter is he has a weapon to fight back against Godzilla. So here he hits him. And I think, in my opinion, what's going to happen here is this is where Mecha Godzilla gets exposed. This outer layer of skin or whatever is, it's going to show who he really is. And then the real Godzilla is going to show up at some point. Team up with Godzilla like Superman and Batman. They're gonna King Kong is gonna come up and he's gonna be like Mothra, and Godzilla's gonna be like, "Why did you say that name?"
Oh my God, that is such a reach. That is such a reach.
And then they're gonna be like, they're gonna join forces, and they're gonna fight this Godzilla. Yep.
Why'd you say that name?
That's such a reach.
It's the name of his mother.
You mean Mothra? It's the name of his Mothra. And if hey, look, at the end of the day, Mothra had an egg at the end of the King of the Monsters. It's still alive somewhere out there. At least another Mothra, at least.
So can we talk about this? Like, yes. So animals, apes, like they've used weapons, but they've never made a weapon before. So it's. I mean, like, it's a movie. Go and enjoy.
So it's interesting because it's interesting because in Planet of the Apes, I was watching another one. Stop share. So I was watching that there was another. I was watching another breakdown trailer of this, and they had pointed out that in Planet of the Apes, they had shown like the apes are actually using tools as weapons. Like they actually put together bone fragments or like pieces of wood or whatever to build a tool. So actually research has shown, real random geeky fact, that there's a tribe of apes. It was, I believe, somewhere in Africa, somewhere, I forget which country, but apparently they've entered the Stone Age. I think the Iron Age, or I forget what they called it, because they just built their first weapon.
Iron Age, you'll be screwed.
Well, they just built their first weapon. This is from like 10 years ago, actually, 5 to 10 years ago. Yeah,
I have to look this up. I did not see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive. So,
I hope Omar's not like sharing false information. Like, get that notification.
Dude, I saw it on QAnon.com. What are you talking about? It's QAnon.com/Africa.
Oh my God.
What?
No comment. No comment.
But yeah, so that's it for that. I mean, I'm excited. We're looking at the end of March. Apparently you can rent out a movie theater for like $200 and bring whoever you want. So I think I'm about to do that with my family. I already talked to them, and yeah.
Wow.
I just hope
say what you want.
Right,
say what you want.
That's
I am never going to let this go. Godzilla is always going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. So I mean, on a more serious note, though, I really enjoyed the first movie in the trilogy, and even though it wasn't quite as good story wise, I also enjoyed the second one, just because I was also one of those people like, hey, I want to see some monsters kick some butt. That's what I care about. Hollow Earth.
Who cares about these people? Why is people in this movie?
And the reason why they're here is great, but like I want to know like who's the strongest. You know what I mean? Like I want to know. I want to see.
Let me ask you this, Omar. Who's gonna win this fight? Who you got money on?
Oh,
Zilla or Godzilla? Zilla. We're going to Zilla now. Godzilla.
They're saying somebody's gonna lose. They're saying somebody's gonna lose.
Really?
That's been the whole advertising thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say Kong is gonna win before Mechagodzilla shows up. I mean, before he teams up with Godzilla. But the thing is, like, who's fighting who? Is it Kong fighting Mechagodzilla, or is it Kong fighting the real Godzilla? Which one is it?
That's what they're saying. They're saying Godzilla and Kong are actually going to fight.
Yeah, that's what the movie's
called. One of them
called.
is going to lose. Somebody's
but they're not saying though that it's Godzilla or Mechagodzilla, because they haven't made it clear in the trailer that it's Mechagodzilla. They want you to think it's Godzilla. So I don't know.
All I know is over the first two movies, Godzilla has definitely needed some assistance every time. He's supposed to be the alpha, but he's shown up needed some help. Those two giant bug things were getting them. They were getting them. I remember sitting in the movie theater. I was laughing because the one joint was like jumping up and down on his chest in the middle of the city.
All right, Saeed, you are going to be invited with me to the theater, not Nicholas, because I think he's just going to be laughing the whole movie.
I'm actually laughing with them.
It was like WWE or something.
It's gonna be the most sentimental moment in the movie. Like King Kong is dying and like Godzilla is like crying, and Nicholas is actually. I would have been laughing too at that. Never mind.
No, I remember watching. I don't remember like Godzilla getting done in the first movie though, but like because they tried to like they did have like a little convoluted plot like with them trying to blow them both up, and then they couldn't blow any of them up, and it was.
All I know is the guy, like they were going along in the first movie, and then Kim Watanabe's character's like, let them fight, and I was like, finally.